The thing about curly hair is today it looks like this, and 2 days ago it looked like that. So like, I'm 99% sure that there is some contract, there is some law that curly hair is not legally allowed to look the same way twice. Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. I'm Lindsay. If you can see from this title, I am doing my July reading wrap-up. I've read 4 books and continue to read Dracula daily, which I will talk more about. But for starters, I'm going to talk about the books that I read, starting with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Map of the Other Lands. I read the second book on Libby. I have a vlog where I vlogged my experience of reading both of these books, but I still read them in July, so of course they're in this video. So I've already talked about these books being very cozy. They are a fantasy world that mixes academia. To kind of expand on that, Emily Wilde is a professor at the University of Cambridge who is in the Dryadology department. So in this world, fae creatures are all real, and the study of them is called Dryadology. So Emily is on a mission to write the first Encyclopedia of Fairies. There are no books so far that encompass all of the fairies in this world. So she is going to a Scandinavian country at the beginning of this book, a fictional one, and she is going to study, I believe they were called the Dark Ones, and that is the last piece she needs for her encyclopedia. I think it has really good character development for Emily and a really cute overall story. It also eventually involves another professor named Wendell Bamblebee. I think I'm saying that right. The two of them have really lovely chemistry. The romance in these books is more of a subplot, but it really warmed my heart. And if you like fae folklore, then you'll really love these books. In the second one, Emily's project is making a map of the other lands, so that's where the name comes from, but you also just learn a lot more about this fae world in this book. You also learn more about Wendell, the romance develops some more, and Emily, even her story develops more because her niece is in this one. So you do learn a little bit more about her, and she gets even more character development. I stumbled over that last part of it, but I am super excited for the third book to come out in 2025. I think in January 2025, so not too far away. But yeah, I really enjoyed these books, and I can't wait to read the third. So the next book I read is Tress of the Emerald Sea. This is another one I vlogged. It's so good. If you've already read Brandon Sanderson, I'm sure I don't have to sell you on his world building. I hadn't ever read a Brandon Sanderson book before this, so I know there's also stuff that in this connects to his other books that I don't quite understand. I do plan on reading more of his books and hopefully learning more about his world and the way he does little Easter eggs like that, and learning more about Hoyd. But to expand on this book. So this book is about Tress. She is a teenager from a small island in a world that has 12 moons that drop and create these things called spores that then become the spore seas. As far as anyone knows, they're very dangerous because any water-like substance that touches them creates them to sprout into things like vines and like other dangerous things. So people who live on Tress's Island are taught to fear them. So save for nobles and tradesmen and the likes, no one is allowed to come and go from Tress's Island, and she has no desire to until Charlie, her best friend and her love interest, ends up being forced to leave and kind of captured, and she decides to go rescue him. It reminded me of The Princess Bride humor-wise, and it has a piratey kind of storyline, and it's one of those books that, for me at least, it really reminded me why I love fantasy, so it did kind of feel like a classic fantasy book. But yeah, could not recommend it more. So Dracula Daily I'm still reading. I talked about it in the last reading wrap-up because it is Bram Stoker's Dracula sent to you via email on the dates in which the letters and journal entries are written, because that's how the story is written. So you kind of feel like you are being given these letters or reading these journal entries. And the main protagonist is Jonathan Harker. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this because I've already talked about Dracula and what I knew of Dracula Daily and stuff in my last reading wrap-up, as I already said. And where I'm at in the story, I can't talk a whole lot more than I did in that last video because it would be spoilers. I am curious to learn where this is going. I mean, we're learning more about like Lucy and Mina and Jonathan and like all these characters. Lucy right now where I'm at is sleepwalking. I haven't ever seen a Dracula movie. I don't actually know much about the story of Dracula. Prior to this, I hadn't known really anything, so this has been quite the adventure for me reading it for the first time via my emails, and I've really been enjoying it. Finally, my last read of the month is One Dark Window. This has been an anticipated read for me. I am hoping to read the second one on Libby. I'm on hold on Libby, and I got this book for a Secret Santa at Christmas. They got the book for me. A Secret Santa got the book for me for Christmas. That was how I should have worded that. This book is about Elspeth. I might be pronouncing that wrong. She is a 20-year-old from a kingdom that is locked away from other kingdoms by this mysterious magical mist, and this mist infected her when she was a child and made it so her mind is inhabited by this thing called the nightmare. Like, that's a big part of this story. She lives with her aunt and uncle and her cousins deep in the woods. It allows her to stay hidden because she is in danger due to this infection. If she is caught, she is in danger of being executed, so she has to be very careful when she goes out into town and such. She has gotten used to her life hiding away until she runs into this mysterious highwayman and is thrown into this very important quest and discovers a lot of new things about this kingdom, and just, you know, her life is kind of, you know. Moreover, as the story goes on, she has to deal with her infection, the nightmare, and how it's evolving, and the ways in which it is affecting her. So that was kind of a quick little synopsis, very vague, but I do plan on doing a separate video about the duology once I read the second book. Again, I'm hoping to get it on Libby soon. So yeah, I will have a little bit more details in that synopsis. I am still going to make it spoiler free, but it's going to touch on a little bit more because I really enjoyed that book, and I'm definitely going to be recommending it in the future. But this is all that I read in July. It was a busy month for me, so I have lots of fun books to read in August, and I will be doing a monthly reading wrap-up again. I love to do monthly reading wrap-ups, so I'm hoping to do one each month this year, most months at least. And I also do reading vlogs, as I've talked about, and recommendation videos, just other recommendation videos. And as I've already said, like, I do series and duology reviews that I try to keep spoiler free, unless it's something like The Folk of the Air, where I simply just had to say all my thoughts because I love it so much. Yeah, that's a thing. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for some future reading videos. I mean, that's all I plan on doing from here on out, so just lots of different types of book content. And yeah, so I'll see you in a week. Bye!